Same energy. August 28th. Spencer, James, and Dom hanging out with you. We got a lot of golf to talk about on today's show. We are going to get into LIV Golf being on the precipice of death, the good golf ad controversy, and we're going to start it off, though, guys. I have a NFL question for y'all to consider, all right?
Okay.
This week I came across a statistic of the all-time franchise win-loss records and win percentages. Just real quick, this isn't the point of it, but I want to just know, do y'all know who is the all-time losingest franchise in NFL history? I'll give y'all 3 guesses.
My assumption is that they've been around for a while.
Yes, it is a team that's been around since the 70s.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the Panthers, but all right, let's.
Not the Panthers.
I mean,
They
how
are
long
towards
is
the bottom, though?
How long has Detroit been around?
Detroit is not the answer. They have been here since 1930. One more guess.
Holy shit! Pardon my French. All right, what are you thinking, James?
Go with the Bucs.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have the all-time worst win percentage at just 41%. That's the worst all-time. But you think about it, the Bucs in that period of their existence, they have 2 Super Bowls, right? Then you kind of look towards the top, and you have all-time is the Green Bay Packers, followed by the Cowboys, Ravens, Patriots, Bears, Chiefs, Vikings, Dolphins, 49ers, and Steelers. Now, of that top 10 I just listed, one of those teams is not like the others. The Minnesota Vikings, of all the teams in the top 10, are the only team to have never won the Super Bowl. So, guys, this is my question for y'all. Assume that you are a fan of the franchise from its inception, and you are a diehard. You watch every minute of every game. You don't miss anything. Which experience do you think is going to be more enjoyable? The all-time losingest team, Buccaneers, with 2 Super Bowls, or the Minnesota Vikings, one of the most all-time successful teams that has never won it all?
Ooh, Spence. So I'm going to say, for me, I would rather be a team that actually won Super Bowls. So I would go with the Bucs on this. Again, you saw, since I've been born, I've seen them win 2 Super Bowls with 2 different quarterbacks. Of course, you have one, the GOAT. And then, gosh, I think the
Brad Johnson.
Johnson. Look, I was going to mess up and say Gus Johnson.
That was the defense. Dexter Jackson was the MVP in that Super Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah. That would be the caveat, though. It's like you have had to have witnessed that. Otherwise, I would take the other just to have fun at games and know that my team's going to win and maybe be in contention.
Yeah.
Like, growing up a Chiefs fan, up until I was in my late 20s, we didn't win a Super Bowl. But being that guy that was like, hey, we played in the first Super Bowl and we won the second before anybody that listens to this podcast was ever born. So it was like, do I really want to be that guy? You know, I feel like once you visually can see it and you witness it, then yes, I want to be that franchise, even with the worst record ever imaginable.
Yeah, and the scenario I'm wanting y'all to look at is just that. Imagine you are a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan since 1976 when it was their first year, or you're a Minnesota Vikings fan since 1961, and you're diehard. You don't miss any games. I have to imagine that while the highs of winning 2 Super Bowls has got to be amazing, most of those years, you didn't think it was possible to win a Super Bowl. But at least with the Vikings, you have that hope every single season, right? Now, ultimately, neither of those experiences are probably as fun as someone that's been a Packers, Cowboys, Ravens fan their entire life. Don't even get me started on how awesome it must have been to be a Patriots fan, especially in the 21st century. But
yeah,
I don't know. It just got me thinking, and I'm a Texans fan, so I have not even sniffed a Super Bowl win yet. I think that might be why I lean towards the Vikings side of things, because that's closer to the experience I've had. But I definitely understand why the appeal of having 2 of just the highest highs you can achieve as a sports fan, there's got to be a ton of appeal there.
I would say this question would have given me more appeal if you would have told me, Spence, who would you rather be, a Bills or a Vikings fan? Just because of those 2 teams who have lost multiple of Super Bowls and haven't seen one. The guys that are new to the league, the Jaguars, the Panthers, and the Texans, your time will come. But you mentioned those long ago fans. I think, hell, when I saw the Eagles win Super Bowl 52, I was 24 or 25. I didn't think it was going to happen the first 20 years of my life. Spence, damn. And now I have 2 in the last 8 years.
I think a lot of people, if they just on the surface, they think, oh, yeah, give me the Super Bowls. But when you really think about what you'd be going through on a year-to-year basis, cheering for a team that most of the time, think about how bad they must have been to have 2 Super Bowls in their existence, 2 Super Bowl championships, and a lot of years where they were very competitive, especially in the past 5 to 7 years, with Tom Brady and Baker Mayfield. Think about how bad they were in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, right? Those orange creamsicles, while they look nice, all those fans associate that with just L's.
Yeah, and even their first Super Bowl, I think I was in the 5th or 6th grade.
I was 8 years old.
I think,
So we're talking like,
I think I was 9.
a long time ago. And then a big gap between the second one that came and a lot of failure.
What's crazy, Smith? Bringing up your point, I said that, hey, I'd rather have the 2 Super Bowls, but you mentioned they're the most losing team in NFL history. And ever since I've been a fan of football, I would have thought the Browns have a worse record than the Bucs. The Lions have a worse record than the Bucs.
No, fun fact, the Browns still have an above 500 record all time.
Wow.
Woo-woo,
And that's a city that lost their team and had to get it back.
Yeah, unlike the Texans were able to. Damn you, Bud Adams, you bastard. Rest in piss. All right.
Yeah, well, that was a great one.
I wanted to start off with that, but this week's episode, we're going to talk a lot of golf. So I assume we're going to lose some listeners on that.
Sure.
But
I got one.
We all
that I'll
love
bring
golf.
up at
So
the end of this conversation.
So Dom, I want you to kind of explain, because I'm not really full on the details. So can you tell me what is exactly happening with LIV Golf? And I know they're going to die, but where are we at right now?
They just played their last tournament, which was, I think, the same week as Belle Reve. So BMW Championship. I think it was in Indianapolis, I believe. I think there's 2 things to it where the PIF or the Saudi investment firm is no longer, they don't want to continue investing in a product that's not successful, especially with all the things that are going on in the world for them. It's costly. I think it was an experiment that everybody in the world knew was going to fail. That's just not the version of golf that people want to enjoy. But yeah, what's going on is that the season's over. They have players that are under contract. They're more than likely going to file for bankruptcy. No one knows how those guys are going to get their money, because a lot of people say the Dustin Johnsons, the Brysons, and so on and so forth took $100 million. These guys didn't get $100 million up front. They might have got a $25 million check, and then they were salary based until every season, and then performance based on things like that. So a lot of these guys missed out on getting paid some money. How that's going to work out, I don't know. But I think the biggest thing is just that we all knew that it was going to be a massive flop. It's 54 holes of golf. There is no cut. It's just too relaxed of golf, and the idea sounds great, but when I'm watching the best golfers in the world, I really want to see more competitiveness, and I think that's why it just was a massive failure. There's no competitiveness in it. Yeah, you have the team aspect and things like that, but if I have guaranteed money as a golfer, do I really care if I win or lose? There's not a lot riding on it for me. If I'm on the PGA Tour, if I don't make the cut, I can't feed my family. So that's a bigger deal to me, and I've already spent tens of thousands of dollars to potentially be in this tournament as well. So yeah, massive flop. The writing was on the wall. I have a few buddies that were massive LIV guys and bought merch and all that and would have told you that this is never going to fail, but it did, and here we are now.
It reminds me of Happy Gilmore too, with that weird little league. Once we knew the Saudi money was coming out, again, it was just the writing on the wall. You're paying these guys, again, on the contract level, NBA dollars for a sport that, again, is not that entertaining. We love it. We love striking it pure down the middle of the club face, but most people don't find it attractive. Then your TV deals with the CW, who I don't know. I don't watch anything on the CW.
Not since I was a kid when I didn't have cable.
Yeah. So then you had that, and then you go to Fox, where Fox is the dominant either football, baseball in between, and a NASCAR TV show. You're not, when you're playing, and again, you take, some guys like Cam Smith, John Rahm, and all of them. And I know everyone hated Rory's comment, but he wasn't wrong when they said they didn't bring any value.
No, it's a really good way that I view it is that imagine if that same scenario happened with a competitor of the NBA or the NFL. It's just not going to be, no matter how much money you're paying guys, you're not going to get the LeBron James of the world, the Steph Currys, the Kevin Durants. You're not going to get those players to come play in that league. What you're going to get is the Enes Cantors and these other people of the world and some of these lower end players that need money. And it's like the big three. That's what you're going to get out of it. And so it's just, you can't compete with the top dog in the sport. If this, you just simply can't do it. It's just not something that was going to breed long-term success, especially when you're producing a product that's not making money. It's not generating revenue. No matter how much money the Saudis have in oil and all these other things that they own, eventually, as a business person, you have to be willing to stop the bleeding, even if the bleeding is not affecting you. It's just basic econ 101, business 101. So yeah, it was just a massive failure and it sucks. And these guys are coming back and having to pay their $5-10 million fine. And I respect what the PGA Tour is doing, saying, yeah, you can come back, but if you're not in signature events, you have to be like drawing a blank on the word, but basically a reserve like Brooks had to do. And you had to sit out and wait for a guy, alternate is the word, and come back. And I don't fault any of these guys. If you're going to offer me $250 million to make my job easier, why would I not do it?
Right.
It's just the way that money works for me, at least. To LIV.
Yeah, RIP to LIV. And again, something I know we didn't mention, it'll be quick and Spence will move forward, is I've even invested more in the TGL Simulator Golf League because it is just so quick and I love it a lot more. And again, those guys still kind of dress like the PGA Tour.
It's a better product.
Crap. And yeah.
Yeah, golf dominating the headlines like we talked about. The other one is a lot more controversial. Like we kind of talked about. LIV, we kind of knew that one was coming. What happened this week with Callaway and Good Golf really caught a lot of people by surprise, and it has been very contentious online. People on both sides of this thing. So if you missed it and you've been living under a rock, Good Golf had a good themed driver that they partnered with Callaway for, and in the ad for this club, Garrett Clark shoulder checks a woman very, very hard and knocks her over, and they still posted this ad anyways. Craziest thing to me is that this ran through so many lines of communication, and no one at any point thought, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we should do
perhaps
a guy instead of her, and have the exact same message come across. It was cringy and bad, but it just seemed like, how could this happen?
Like you said, for two companies that have, this isn't like us, two average folks that don't have a lot of money, like we'd be doing this ourselves. This ran through so many PR teams, so many marketing teams. And so it begs the question of two things. Good is I would say Good's nearly probably $1 billion, maybe not $1 billion company, but they are worth several hundreds of millions of dollars.
Oh yeah.
They
Very
just raised $54 million last year. Callaway is $1 billion company. And so it's like the biggest issue is, and I think what a lot of people are talking about, obviously the content in itself was really bad and not a good look for anybody. It was really stupid to do, but it's like, it shows that you don't have the right people in these rooms to help you make these decisions. Do you mean to tell me there was not a single woman that worked for either one of these companies and was like, hey guys,
good girl,
maybe this
girl that was in the ad.
This probably isn't the best idea to put out. And we get it. Like society has changed. 20 years ago, this would not have been a big deal. This would have been another day in the life of a media commercial. That's just what it was. But it was just like, brother, you got to learn how to read a room. And it sucks for Good because Callaway's not really taking any brunt of this. And that's another thing that I'm like Good's response was not great. But like Callaway, you were a collaborator on this. This is a Callaway driver branded with Good. So this idea that, hey, we're no longer going to partner with Good, we're going to take a step back and separate ourselves from this. This was something that they did. Even their apology was that we reposted a video. No, it's you paid for this more than likely.
You probably were in it.
Yeah, your product was in it. You didn't just repost the video. They sent this to you and said, what do you think? There's no way that they didn't. And if they didn't, when you reposted it, I know you watched it and you still hit repost. So it sucks for Good because they're going to be like, I've seen the Reddit threads, dude, of Golf Galaxy, PGA Superstore, like their stuff is off the shelf.
Often.
My buddy is a head pro down in Houston and he said he had to pull all their stuff off the shelves. Like it just is the way that it works nowadays where it's like you have to pick a side and the side is revenue. We cannot align ourselves with this, even if we believe it was not intentional, it was a joke or whatever the case may be. Yeah, it just wasn't a good ad. It was not,
a good decision. Like,
the craziest part to me is some of these conspiracy theories that people are floating out there about the why this all happened. There's some people that think that Callaway was using Good as a pawn in this scheme to kind of drive out some of their shareholders because their plan was to initially post this really cringy and controversial bad ad to where they had to come out and apologize and tank their stock price. And if you look at their stock, it has tanked over the last couple of weeks. And the theory is that they are doing it to lower their share price so that people can buy more stock back at a cheaper price and then recover it back up and kind of kick out some of these longtime shareholders. I'm not much of a money stock guy, but there's a lot of tread there because, again, it's just hard for me to fathom that this was done and no one knew that it was going to have this reaction. Like, I can't fathom how that could happen.
But it did happen. The money side of it makes sense. Of course, in any major company that goes through something like this, your stock's going to tank, regardless if it's conspiracy or not. And Callaway's making the right choice of separating themselves because Callaway's too big of a brand. They represent too many players on the LPGA and the PGA Tour. They partner with a lot of women in golf. So it's like the best thing for us, although we may have enjoyed the relationship, it was probably very mutually beneficial. We're no longer going to do stuff together. And good will recover from this. I think that they will. Oh, yeah. They'll be fine, but it's taken over the headlines of just how, again, I think it all reverts back to how didn't I would love like someone's going to come out that works at Callaway or good and be like, here's an email that I sent that was like, hey guys, we probably shouldn't do this. And they were like, oh, good. Like, these guys do this for a living. They know what they're doing. They know how to make content.
Something like that has to come out.
I blame Callaway more than anyone. Their little posts like, we listen to everyone's personal experience. Shut your ass up.
We're going to donate $1 million to women's, domestic violence causes and all this.
I wasn't hearing none of that because, again, like you mentioned, Dom, it's not like it's us. No. It is every line of communication and chain of command and was
I would almost be willing to put my last dollar that Callaway has a legal department that has to review every marketing material that they ever put out. Like, I work for one of the largest insurance companies in America, in the world. And anything that has our name on it has to go through legal. If it's going to go out to the masses, legal has to approve this, look at this, and make sure that whatever we're talking about makes sense legally from regulation or whatever the case may be. So, like, I can almost guarantee someone on their legal side, unless their social media team is just allowed to post whatever, had to have viewed this and been like, what WTF? Like, what are we doing here, guys?
That honestly, you say that, and they are such a big brand that it's hard to believe that to be true, but maybe that is true to an extent because remember, we're talking about YouTubers here. Like, these are YouTubers. It's not clear to me if they've ever gone to marketing school to like learn the do's or don'ts. They're like us. They just try and make it big on YouTube and I'm saying a successful brand that way. And,
for Callaway's purposes though, Good probably doesn't have a legal team. They probably have a legal team, but no one that's like
not like on the
the legal team like
Callaway.
Bubby.
Callaway has to have a legal team, but it's just this was it's really hard to recover from this, especially I think originally Good just is not covering their tracks very well with it. Like, even Garrett's video originally started off with like, it was a skit, and it's like, dude, we know it wasn't real.
That was the point. We didn't like the skit.
Like, have accountability and say, you know what, this should not have came out. This is a really stupid idea. How we didn't even realize this when we were filming it. And it's like, keep it short and sweet. Anytime someone comes out with like a 5 to 10 minute long apology video, it's like, you're not sincere enough, bro. Just take accountability and move on. That's what you have to do.
Yeah, just say I effed up and move on.
Yeah, that's it. We don't need a long, drawn-out apology.
Or in their instance, in the sport, hey, man, on to the next shot, man. You effed up this first shot.
Yeah.
There might not be a shot with Good. Like,
not
from a death sentence.
Yes. I think as far as not for their brand necessarily, because they just have so many followers, this is a death sentence as far as the exponential growth that they were achieving with the PGA Tour. They have an event, a sponsored event. Now sponsors are backing out with other brands in golf, manufacturers as far as club makers, Callaway, TaylorMade, Titleist, those people. Like, it's over.
Golf Channel postponed what they were supposed to show.
They said they're pushing it to 2027. This is a big deal when major companies have invested millions of dollars into things that in the future with you, and they're saying, you know what, we're not going to do it anymore. For them to be like, you know what, we're just not going to do this. So it's not a death sentence for the brand itself, but I do think it's a death sentence for the overall future of the growth that they were, looking at. And I think it was bound to come to an end eventually. I think their demographic is going to get older and people are not going to continue to watch that type of content anyways. But yeah, I got one more for you guys that's not golf related. So if you're still listening out there.
Go ahead. 3 minutes.
This is an NBA debate. You can just say, was he right or was he wrong? I'm going to go with he was wrong. I'm not sure if you saw the podcast with Tracy McGrady and Vince Carter.
Oh, nice.
Tracy McGrady said that winning an MVP holds more weight than winning a ring. And those were his words. And I understood where he was coming from to some degree by saying, like, you don't know the 12th guy off the bench of the Golden State Warriors team. And it's like, sure, I get that. But the ultimate goal in sports is to win. So just to say that you were the best player in the league at one point in time, I don't think that ever will outweigh winning a championship, because that's why you play the game.
Now, I think correct message, but not going to be heard from that
Right.
messenger.
For sure.
Right? Like, it's clear you're saying that, Tracy McGrady.
Because you don't have one.
Yeah, and in fact, he doesn't even have an MVP, to be clear. And so maybe he's just speaking from which one he would rather have, since he didn't get either of them. But all that to say is, I think that's why it fell on deaf ears, is because Tracy McGrady was so well known as a guy who never got off the first round, let alone sniff the championship. And I say that as a Rockets fan, and a lot of it was health reasons, and we can get into that's a topic for another day, because Tracy McGrady was an absolute stone cold killer when he was healthy. But at the end of the day, he didn't win anything, dude. So for you to sit there and diminish championships like that just sounds really corny.
All I know is Allen Iverson would say a different answer.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and he had an MVP.
Yeah.
Didn't
And
he?
he played in a
he did.
championship.
Yeah, and he played in the championship. Had the
Beat the Lakers
step
one
over.
game. Hey, drop the banner. We beat the Lakers.
Had to step over.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I think, correct message to an extent, but definitely wrong messenger. Definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, good episode, y'all. This was a fun little no huddle episode, but we will be back. We will be wrapping up next week our Why Your Favorite Team Won't Win the Super Bowl series. We are just about finished, and then we are going to have some bold prediction episodes coming up in the weeks to come. We're almost there, guys. Football season is almost here. And, hey, James, real quick, right before we go, week 0, who's winning?
Hey, you already know. TCU is going to win. Memphis is going to win. Hell, so many other teams are going to win. There's so many games on the slate. But guess what? Hey, Eastern Michigan's going to be playing. Hey, I'm watching them. They're going to be playing Sacramento State. Hey, I'm telling you, man, we watch these games, Spence.
Yes, sir.
Fans are going to win.
Week 0 football is back. That's right. So for Dom, for James, I'm Spencer. It's been Big Game Energy. We'll see y'all next time. Until then, y'all take it easy.
You caught me off guard with that one, Spence.